There's another CNA, she would act like she's your friend, like the best of friends, and she would turn around and actually report your ass. I don't know. She and this other girl, they couldn't get along for nothing because the two of them was two of a kind. They looked the same way, similar, but one was skinny and one was big. And they would get into it all the time. And when I tell you, I think it was from the same, yeah, they're from the same country, same eye color, same complexion. One was skinny, one was big. And when the big one lost weight, she became a whole different person. And she just like, she will report a lot of things, a lot. She was cool at one point in front of your face, but behind your back, she used to report one of the friends that she act like she was mad, so cool with. She used to report her all the time that she wasn't showering the patients, and she would be talking to the girl right now in her face, laughing and giggling, and then by the time 5 minutes come, she'll go and report what the girl told her, blah blah blah. I don't know. It was a lot. These people that claim they're your coworkers and that they like you, and I used to be like, I'll talk to y'all, but y'all, I'm talking to y'all on the surface level. Anything y'all know about me is on the surface level. I'm not telling y'all nothing, and I'm not telling y'all nothing about these patients because y'all the same one that's gonna go report shit. So I was just like, I don't care to be nobody's friend. I don't even want to be your friend. I'm only here because I have to be here at this point. So yeah. Yeah. There's so much more stories I gotta tell you, but yeah, stay tuned. I told you guys that we had to work like two years of weekends. Every weekend you had to work for 2 years, right? Remember I told you guys that? So it came time now. I'm getting off of the 2 year mark, and now I get to be on every other weekend, which was the craziest things I've ever heard. I think they changed it after when a new company came in. They actually changed it, and everybody had to work every other weekend once you were off probation, or once you start. I think automatically it's every other weekend, which made so much sense. Because why the hell would you want somebody to take away their whole entire 2 years of weekends? Like, come on. I do believe it was two every weekend, or it was one weekend. Something, I don't remember. It was something like that, but I think it was every weekend. It was such a long time ago. Then it came time when I'm getting off of that. The lady in the scheduling office, right? I never forgot this bitch. Sorry, y'all. Cause she made it her. The time came now, and I'm getting off of that. And then she's like, "Oh, I think she sent a letter to the floor for me." And I read the letter, but I wasn't paying attention to the letter. I was so busy, I did not pay attention to the letter. So I don't know if I was in the wrong or she, but I think she was in the wrong, because there's no way you feel like I just got off of 2 years. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm home, came to work the Monday, and I heard my coworker was like, "Oh, the LP," and she was like, "You were scheduled to be here over the weekend. Why weren't you here?" So I was like, "No, I wasn't. It's supposed to be my weekend off." And she was like, "No, you actually on the schedule to work." So I said, "How? It's supposed to be my weekend off. I'm not understanding what's happening." So then she was like, "You might want to check downstairs because that's a no call, no show." I said, "I have never done a no call, no show before. So that would be on them, not on me, because if I am supposed to be at work, I know I'm supposed to be here." And I checked that schedule every single day. And the reason why I checked the schedule every single day was because I had an event to go to. And in order for me to go to the event, I wanted to know what days I was going to be off so that I can attend that event. So I checked it every day. There's a room that you go to where they put the schedule up. I went in there every day trying to check the schedule, trying to make sure that I knew what days I could tell a person if I was going or not. The schedule was never there. So when I came in the Monday, that's when the schedule was up. And I checked before I left. On that Friday, I checked the schedule room before I left the building. It was never there. So when I got to work and she said that, she was like, "Oh, you're supposed to be here." I'm like, how is it that the one weekend I'm supposed to get to myself, you decide that you want me to work that weekend? Like, that's not fair. That's not how that works. I don't know what she had going on. So I went down there and I told her, and she was like, "How long you been working here?" So I told her, and she was like, and I'm just like, that doesn't make sense. If it's my weekend to work, why would you be putting me on the schedule? That if it's my weekend to be off, I meant, if I'm supposed to be off, you cannot be putting me on the schedule to work. That how does that make sense? People have lives. I work my weekends when I'm supposed to. Give me my weekend when I'm supposed to be off. Like, why are you putting me to work? So I don't know. I was trying to make it a big thing that she was wrong, and she kept trying to talk about, "Oh, I brought the schedule myself to the floor." No, you don't. No, you don't. I've never seen that lady go. I've worked there so many years, and I'm like, I've never seen that lady walk herself up there and put a schedule. I don't know who does it, but it's definitely not her. Later on, she ended up getting fired. I don't know for what reason they fired her, but they let her go. And she probably was doing bullshit like that all the time anyway, because how can you do that? How can you take away the first time somebody's going on a weekend off, you try to take it away from them? And then on top of that, put me as a no call, no show. I think she changed it afterwards when I went down there because she knew she was wrong. She had to put something in to say it's an excuse, some shit. But I was like, I'm not wrong. I know for a fact it's supposed to be my weekend off because it came to that, blah, 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 and whatever. And it worked, whatever. It didn't go nowhere. I knew she was wrong. I've never done that before, no call, no show. Even at every job I've ever had, I make sure I read the schedule, and if I'm supposed to be at work, I'm at work. I do not do no call, no show thing. So that was on her. That lady was a bitch, and to this day, I still, that job. Oh my god, there was another one that was there. I actually really like her. She was the one that when I got the job, remember I told y'all how I was telling y'all. She asked me if I wanted to work temporary, full time, or part time, and I told her I wanted I think I told her temporary. And then as the probation part ended, she was just like, I'm going to put you full time. And I was just like, you are? And she's like, yeah, you work here. You seem to be doing a good job. I'm going to put you full time without me even saying anything. So I appreciated it from her. And she was a good one. Like if you went on there, she worked with you and your schedule. So I actually liked her. She ended up quitting because I don't know what happened this time around too with her. And she found out that they was going to fire her. And she wrote some letter real quick and gave in her resignation letter that they wouldn't fire her. So that's what I heard, news travel. So one time too, I was like PMSing, and I don't know, I was so sensitive about everything that week. And this lady, like my son's school was calling me. One thing about me, I'm not disrespectful to anybody, like especially if I'm at work. I'm not gonna disrespect nobody. I do my job and go home. And one of the RNs came to the floor. Me and her became cool after, but at this time, I actually liked her though. I'm not even gonna lie. I liked her. I liked how strict she was. I liked how she kept everything together. But at the same time, sometimes she was not being fair. And I just couldn't accept certain things when they were going on. And I'm not a person that likes to argue with people at work. So, but this particular time now, I remember I was PMSing. Period didn't come yet. It's just, you're going through the symptoms before it come. And I was just, so there was like, I don't know, it was enough staff on the floor, and for some reason she kept calling me like the whole entire day. Other people's on the floor, she's not calling them, she calling me everything. She was calling me. So I'm like, at the end of the day, my son's school started calling now, and they were telling me they couldn't put him on the bus because I don't know what was happening, and they couldn't put him on the bus. So somebody had to come pick him up, and I'm telling them I have nobody to pick him up, so he has to go on the bus, and then he can walk home from there. Because it wasn't like the bus stop was far from the house. So, and my son is a smart kid, so he knew where to go. And my mom usually pick him up at the bus stop. So they were calling me. That's driving me crazy. Then she's calling me nonstop for no damn reason. Well, she called me for a reason, but she kept calling me. There's other CNAs on the floor. Why are you calling me 24/7? Like, how does that make sense? And if I say I'm busy with a patient, why don't you call somebody else? I'm not a person that have attitude either. I'm just trying to explain to y'all. And she's just kept calling me. So I got upset. I'm like, I'm not the only person on the floor. You can call somebody else. Like, please call somebody else. I'm trying to help a patient here. Do you want me to leave this patient and go to the next one? And she's like, I need you to go and help that patient, that blah, blah, blah. That's not even my patient. I mean, you're not supposed to say that, but I'm in the middle of helping one. Find somebody else to help that one. So she's like, well, you can go help the patient or you can go home. I was going to say I'll go home because at this point, my son can't get on the damn bus. You're pissing me off, and if I leave, aren't you gonna have to call somebody else? Isn't that what you're gonna do? So I'm just like, I'm not doing it. So she was just like, so she's like, oh, okay, so if you're not gonna go, then I'm gonna call. She's gonna call them somebody. She said she's gonna call a manager or something, but when she called the manager, I guess she wasn't picking up, so the director picked up, and she was telling the director what was happening. So I'm trying to tell the director, like, I'm in the middle of helping somebody, so she can find somebody else to help. Like, what's the issue? The issue is I'm with somebody. Find somebody else to help that one. She was not trying to do that. I don't know. She was being a bitch that day, and she wanted me to help. I don't know. Maybe she wanted me to just. I don't fucking know. I was so mad that day, yo. I was pissed to the max. I should have called out the next day. Cause yeah, but like whatever. So I was just like, she was like, so the director was like, if you walk out, or you leave the floor, or if you sign, she was like, you can come sign out and go home if you want, but if you do, then you're fired. So I was just like, I don't even know why I stuck with this job. Like I said, at the time I didn't have bills. All I had was my son to take care of, and yes, he is very expensive, but I didn't need the job like that. I had a coworker too who was there, and she was just like, she was like, I'm putting up with all of this and I don't have to, like, we own our own house, my husband take care of everything, I'm just at work just so that I don't have to be home bored. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, but she later on quit and she didn't have to come to work. She said she didn't, and she quit. I used to talk to her all the time. She was like one of the people I liked on my job too, on my floor. But yeah, so back to the RN. And then, like, we got into it. After that, I did apologize to her. Maybe like after my period passed, I went to her and apologized, and we became cool again. And she gave me like a bunch of kids' clothes and stuff so that I could send them to Jamaica and stuff that was like brand new, stuff with like used and all that. So we became cool after that. And a lot of times she used to come to work and she was like well dressed, and I'm like complimenting her and all that stuff. We became all right. Like, I in the Christmas thing where you get to pick the names and all that, and I picked her name one year and I got her a nice, really nice gift. And I got to know her better and liked her. Like I said, she was a good nurse. It's just that that day she was pissing me off. So yeah, a lot of those nurses, oh my god, they would do things, I think, out of, I don't know, maybe having a bad day at home and they come home and take it out on us. I don't know. But that was one of the times that these people was getting on my damn nerves, and the staff is just annoying as fuck. Yeah. Yeah. So I told you guys, yeah, I got assigned to the floor that I started on with the man, and I'm on that floor now permanently. So there's this guy I also met in orientation. We used to sit next to each other because a whole bunch of us used to be in a group, and we all sat next to each other. He was trying to talk to me for what reason, I don't know, because men is something else. Because this man has a wife, kids, own a house, all of that, and he made it seem like we had a relationship in his head, and he would come to work and act like me and him is together. I don't know what he was telling people. If he was telling people, and I was not entertaining him, I just talked to him because I knew him from orientation, and he would come on the floor and talk to me, and that was it. He would always come on the floor, always trying to find me, trying to see me, talk to me, all that. So one day I'm walking around and I saw these other guys, and they were like, oh, these are grown people, by the way, and they act like they in high school. So I came out the room and I saw them. I was like, hey, good morning, like just saying hi to them. And they was like, oh, we're not allowed to talk to you. And I'm like, what? So they're like, we're not allowed to talk to you. So I'm like, what do you mean you're not allowed to talk to me? And the person was like, he said, okay, we're going to name this guy Painter. So he's like, I don't know, I saw paint somewhere. So he's like, do you know Painter? Painter be telling people that you and him is together. So I was like, no, I did not know that this is new information to me. Why would he be doing that? Isn't he married with kids? He has a whole family. I don't know. And I'm not single. I never told you guys I was single at all. So I don't understand why he would be doing that. So they were like, both of them was like together talking, and it's like, yeah, he told us that we're not allowed to talk to you, and this, that, and the third. So I'm like, that's weird. Next time I see him, I'm gonna have this conversation as to why he's telling people that we're together when we're not. That's weird. So I saw him later on, and I was like, are you telling people we're together, like in a relationship or something? Because I don't understand why I'm saying hi to people and they're telling me they're not allowed to talk to me. That's just, I don't see how that makes sense. I say, you have wife and kids. I'm in a relationship. This is not okay to be telling people anything like that. So he's like, no, I did not say that. I know he's lying. Then another time he was trying to invite me to some birthday party he had going on, and he was like, oh, I'm going to be on a cruise. It's like my party and I want you to come. So I'm like, is your wife going to be there? And he was like, I don't remember if he said she was going to be there or she wasn't, or if I was coming then she wasn't going. But I was like, I don't go anywhere without my man, so no. And he was like, he got an attitude. This man did not talk to me for a while just because he wanted me to come to his birthday and I did not want to go. Like, he was weird about that. I don't understand. I've been in that situation way too many times, so I'm not even gonna say I don't understand. But him doing that, I just looked at him different. And then when we did have, like, when you make it to a certain point at your job, and they had like anniversary parties for everybody, they had this big huge party, and he was part of I guess he didn't hear about the party, I don't know. So I was asking him, I'm like, oh, are you going to the party? Just being friendly. So I'm like, you going to the party? And he was like, what party? So I'm like, the anniversary party, like when you reach a certain milestone, they throw this big party. He was like, nah, he didn't get the invitation. So I'm like, okay, well, you can find out about it if you really want to go, and blah blah blah. So he's like, you going? So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get they have a bus that's gonna pick us up, so I'm gonna get on that bus and then go there, and then the bus will drive us back, and then I'll pick my car up and then I'll go home. So that happened. So when we went to the party now, I met a bunch of new people too. Some people I didn't even know worked there, but we all sat at a table, and we were sitting at the table with them and everything. And then he was like trying to, like, it's time to get on the dance floor. And I'm not a dancer. I do not dance. I always joke that I don't have rhythm, so you ain't catching me on the dance floor. And if I'm on the dance floor dancing, it's probably some little 1-2 step thing. Nah. So he's like on the dance floor, like, he's like, "You gonna drink?" So I'm like, "No, I don't drink." First of all, I gotta drive back home. I'm not drinking. Two, don't think that you're gonna catch me off guard because I'm drinking and you can take advantage of whatever. No, not happening. So he's like, "You're not gonna drink?" So I'm like, "No." And like, we on the dance floor dancing, I'm doing my little 1-2 step, and he's trying to, like, I'm like, "No, this is not that type of party, sweetie. I told you I'm in a relationship. You're in a relationship. Respect your marriage. Respect your family." No. Do you know one time too? Yeah, after the party and stuff, that passed, whatever. So another time came, I think it was like Christmas time, and he was like still trying to talk to me. And he was like, "Oh, I got you a gift." The gift wasn't even a real gift. It wasn't like he went out and bought something and said, "I bought this for you." No, this man took something from his child's room, some little, I don't even know what kind. It was like one of those, I'm not going to say what the gift is, because just in case anybody's watching this, I don't want them to know. People, I don't know who might watch this video. I don't know where it might go. It may take, nobody might not be watching right now, but as time goes on, these videos get views, and then it goes to, yeah. So I'm not going to say what the gift was, but it was some kid stuff, and he gave it to me. I'm like, this is why you don't entertain men, because they would want you to ruin your whole life and ruin their own relationship to give you some bullshit ass gift and think that it's okay. Like, dude, don't ever come to me with no BS gift. Like, if you're trying to give me a gift, give me something with meaning. Give me something that's worth it. Don't come to me with... And I was not going to talk to you anyway, so it doesn't even matter. That's why I was just like, I threw the gift away. I didn't care. Then he bought me something, and he brought me something like I think it was like some type of drink with liquor and milk or something. I was not drinking it. First of all, you've been trying to talk to me. I don't know what you might do to that to get me to be with you. Like, no. I don't believe in certain things, but I do believe in certain things, so no. And I was just like, So yeah. I don't know. That went on for a long time until he was leaving. He came and sat down. He's like, "Oh, come sit down with me. Let's talk." And I'm like, "About what?" And then he's like, "Oh, I'm leaving the job," and he's moving on to something else. I'm like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." But I was just like, okay, I'm happy for you. Great. And then he moved on and left. That was that. Another guy tried to talk to me, and he was like, he just came and write his number down and gave it to me. Like, he was not he's a good looking guy, but I mean, kind of my type. But at the same time, although you look good, I'm still not interested. First of all, I'm in a relationship, so I'm not even. But the fact that he just gave me his number, just write his number down, saw me write his number down and gave it to me, like, he's a player type of person. Like, you just played yourself, because no. Like I could talk to you anyway. I'm in a relationship, so it was never going to happen. But the way he did it, I was just like, you're feeling yourself a little too much for me for a guy, so no. And time went on, a lot of them tried to talk to me, all of them. And I was just like, I am not interested. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I don't care. And this was the same job when I told you in a different story time where I told you, like, how kids don't listen these days. I don't remember what I titled it, but it's something about that. And this is where I told you I met the guy named Kevin Richardson, the one that was on the shit. What is that name? What's the name of the movie called? I don't know why I'm not remembering this right now in my head. But y'all remember the movie with the Manhattan situation and they went to jail, all that stuff. And that was a sad movie, sad life story. Sad, very sad. But yeah, he was in that movie. And that happened to him in real life. And I met him at this job. And he was a cool person. And I did not know none of this happened to him until I had a conversation and saw him on TV. And then I was like, what? That happened? But yeah, shout out to him. He's doing well in life, I see. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, so all of that happened. Time went on. He never tried to talk to me. Let me be clear about that. He never tried to talk to me. He had conversations with me about jobs and life and stuff, but that was it. So that's not what this is about. Let's be clear. And yeah, anyways, back to my coworkers and stuff. So one of my coworkers, and she was like, oh, she's gonna you know, as time went on, there's people that come and there people go, and there's people that you meet and you like, and then there's some that you just don't like. At one point, one of the CNAs, she came to the floor and she wanted help, right? I was the only person helping this person. She was a floater. She came to the floor. I'm helping her. This, do you know she turned around and told people about how I did not help her? Or nobody wants to help her on the floor, which is true. Nobody wanted to help her because you came with a bad attitude anyway. I always tell people, like, when you come to the floor with a good attitude. No matter how bad your day is going, come with a good attitude, because you're going to need help and you want people to help you. Come with a good attitude. No matter what floor I went on, I always went with a good attitude. Even when they be making me mad, I just look at them sideways. I'd be like, all right, I just look at them sideways and I'm like, okay. But I still go on there with a good attitude because I want to get help. So yeah, I want them to help me. So I'm just like, all right. Yeah. And then you learn as you go to different floor, you flow to those floors, you learn how to move fast. Because there's people that's there that's telling you how to get it done fast. Yeah.